Hi, everyone. Today we are going to finish up chapter 9 by learning how to post from a cash payments journal. So, our objective for today is to post cash payments to an accounts payable ledger and a general ledger. So there's one term that we need to be familiar with before moving forward, and that's a credit limit. And a credit limit is the maximum outstanding balance allowed to a customer by a vendor. It's important to post from the cash payments journal to the accounts payable ledger so we always know how much exactly we owe, so we know if we are or are not over the credit limit allowed to us. The first step in posting from the cash payments journal to an accounts payable ledger is going down the line and looking for any vendors listed in the account title. So anytime we're not going line by line here, we're just starting off with only our vendors. If there is a vendor, and that would mean there is not a amount in the debit or credit column, but there is an amount in the accounts payable column. So if there's an amount in the accounts payable column and a vendor listed here, we would post to the accounts payable ledger. We would start by putting the date, the journal page number, so cash payments journal page 21, the debit amount because all accounts payables are debited here, and then we would update the balance. So credit and debit means we subtract to get the updated balance. We paid them in the cash payments journal what we owed. And then we put the vendor number back in the post reference column. So we would continue to do that for all of our vendors. However, we do not have to post every single vendor or every single line to the accounts payable ledger because not every single line would be posted there if it's not to a specific vendor. Anything in the that has an amount in the general debit column would just be posted to the regular general ledger like we learned previously in chapter 4. So we would just put the date, cash payments journal page 21, debit amount, debit and debit means we add, and we put the account number back in the post reference. So again, this is exactly as we did in chapter 4. The last step, however, is that we have to total our journal. So we're going to put the date, we're going to write the word totals, rule the single line, total each individual column, and then double rule the line. What we're then going to do is post the totals from each column in the general ledger. So we're going to put a check in the general debit column and the general credit column. We do not need to post those totals. We need to only post the totals in the special amount columns. So we're going to put the date. We're going to put cash payments journal page 22. We're going to put the amounts, either debited or credited, debited for accounts payable, credited for purchase discount and cash. Then we're going to update our balances and put the account number underneath the total in parentheses. Once you've finished you have a completed accounts payable ledger with all of your different vendors and what you owe to your vendors, and you would then create a schedule of accounts payable. I like to think of this as like a table of contents for what you owe to all of your vendors. So you would put the name of the company, schedule of accounts payable, and the date. You would list each one of the vendors you owe money to and the total amount that you owe to those vendors. Then the total amount would be your total accounts payable, and that number should match what you have in the general ledger. So the total of everything you have in the accounts payable ledger should match what you have in the accounts payable account in the accounts or in the general ledger.